Nigel Farage is the great Brexit leader, the great freedom fighter and a host on GB News, and he joins us now from London. So, Joe Biden's going to run again, but he'll tell us formally later. But as terms of presidential announcements go, the Easter egg roll would be a particularly Biden way of announcing things.
Yes, I mean, what a day to choose. I mean, there he is with the Easter Bunny next to him. And, yeah, he lets it slip that he intends to run again. All I can say, well, you know the famous phrase, God bless America. All I can say is God help America. I mean, the guy is a complete and utter duffer, barely knows where he is. But I think this is good news for the Republicans. I really, really do. I mean, just look under him. Millions, literally millions, have illegally crossed that southern border. And, of course, crime is now rampant, rife in many American cities. So, yeah, the guy's an idiot, but, hey, he's not a bad man to have as an opponent.
Now, he's got a bit of a history with the Easter Bunny that's worth pointing out here. Who would know that the leader of the free world, who's ready to take on China, gets a little freaked every time there's somebody in a bunny suit?
I mean, if he's scared of the Easter Bunny, then I don't think President Xi's got too much to worry about as he busily puts on mock attacks on Taiwan, as he has the French president going to Beijing to grovel to him. And, you know, we saw this weakness, didn't we, over Afghanistan? It was that led very much Putin to make the move that he did in Ukraine. And we've got to face the truth of it. The free world, at the moment, doesn't have a leader. In fact, actually, we might be better off with the Easter Bunny.
Well, what about, I love the gravity-defying falling up the stairs. I've never seen that in my life, and I am, as we call us here in Australia, uncoordinated at the best of times. What about Macron? I mean, Macron has been accused in some quarters of basically being the ultimate shapeshifter, that when he's in a certain place, then he tries to be the best friend of whomever it is that he's standing with. But as we all know, the CCP, Xi, the leadership of China, this is not a normal country. This is not like he's visiting the leader of Belgium or something.
No, but I mean, look, you know, Macron is a super globalist. That was his background in business and industry. That's been absolutely everything he stood for as a president. And, you know, one thing the globalists care about above everything else is to do the bidding of the handful of giant multinationals. It is all about money. It is all about business. The nation state, frankly, to these people is a complete and utter irrelevance. So, I mean, I just think this trip to Beijing, he was there. And, of course, the president of the European Commission, the unelected president of the European Commission, and I bet less than 1% of Australians could name her, but her name is Ursula von der Leyen, and she's actually rather powerful. And they basically go to China on a trip that is nothing more than appeasement of the Chinese Communist Party. And you realise that as and when China does invade Taiwan, the chances of there being any sort of coordinated response from NATO countries are looking pretty low right now. I think that President Xi will take that Macron visit as pretty much a green light for Taiwan.
We're still a couple of weeks away from the coronation, and Harry and Meghan still haven't said whether they're going to be there or not. We know that it's Archie's 4th birthday, and we all know that 4-year-old birthday parties are very important. But a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see your father or father-in-law become king might well trumpet on the way. But this is tedious, isn't it?
Well, we don't quite know what's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, there have been all sorts of negotiations. No doubt they'll want prominent seats inside Westminster Abbey. No doubt they're still insisting on being on the balcony in front of Buckingham Palace for that famous historic shot, which, of course, they're not entitled to because they're not working members of the royal family. So no doubt all these negotiations are going on. I suspect that they're trying to play this game of brinkmanship so that they can get as much back from the people organising the King and Queen's coronation as possible. I mean, they are just utterly disrespectful, completely self-absorbed and obsessed. I mean, they're pretty awful people. I also wonder whether they have calculated that perhaps if they walk through that front entrance of Westminster Abbey, whether tens of thousands of people might openly boo and jeer them. And that may be part of their consideration as to whether they're going to come. But whichever way you cut it, you know, this is a major historical event. Charles, whatever the difficulties they've had and whose fault it is, it's irrelevant. It's a major historic moment that his own father is taking part in. And all he can do is play games. Who knows? Maybe there's a side deal with Netflix that's being negotiated too.
Perhaps, or Amazon, or all of the other companies that they will inevitably take their story to. Also, what about the suggestion that apparently Palisades believed that Harry was essentially being kept hostage by his now wife?
Well, I mean, Paul, if you appeared, you know, on a video that you were putting out to the rest of the world, I mean, would you sit there like this? You know, I mean...
Probably not. I'm planning that to be my resting, my resting state.
You know, I mean, I might do it if ISIS were next to me with a gun, you know. I mean, they look like hostage videos, all of them. Look, there's no doubt that everybody that knew this bloke as a young man, they knew he had problems, but through it all came Harry's great sense of fun, of adventure, of taking risks. And yes, sometimes as we grow up, we change a little bit, but this woman has fundamentally captured him and changed him. And so I think the hostage analogy actually works rather well.
All right, thank you so much, Nigel Farage. We'll see you on GB News, on the Flash app, otherwise on YouTube and podcasts as well.